Hi everyone, my name is and I welcome you to my channel. In today's video, I just want to take a few moments to go through my first impression about using the Fuji X-S10. I've had this camera now for 2 weeks and it's been almost the most busy 2 weeks I've had shooting. I've shot about every single different things that I normally shoot or don't normally shoot. I did portrait in studio, I did portrait outside of studio, I did a small event, I went in nature, shot some birds, shot some flowers, a whole bunch of things. So I really could get a good idea about how I feel about the X-S10 versus my older Fuji X-T2. So I have a list here. I'm going to go through this very quickly. There are a few things I want to revisit in future videos. So if you're interested in the Fuji X-S10, subscribe to my channel. I'll have more videos about this little camera coming up in the next few weeks. First thing is the focus. The way the focus works is different here than my X-T2. So it's yeah, just a small thing. The way I used to like to double click on the joystick, on the small joystick in the back, and to recenter my focus, and that doesn't work. Now you gotta go into you've got to select a spot and hit the back button with the small back at the back of the camera, the back button, not the back focus, but the back button at the bottom that you use to go back in menus. And that is a little bit odd for me, and I find it counterintuitive. So that's something that I really miss. So the other thing about focusing is on my X-T2 I use the front button right here to use instead of the back button focus. It for me it works so well because my finger just fall on that button, and as you can see, there is focus. Come on, focus. There is no button there. So I'll have to get used to using the back button focus to back focus when I shoot in manual focus mode, which I use often. So that is something that I struggled with during these 2 weeks. The focus select dial is missing. What do I mean by that? I don't know. My notes are very thin. The grip, I absolutely love this grip. That is very deep, and it's especially for a small camera like this that I want to be more of a bring with me along kind of camera. It's really easy to hold while you're walking like this, and I don't really mind looking while taking pictures, but really when not taking pictures, this extra grip to hold the camera really makes it easier to carry a camera along. And I've tried the shoulder strap. I didn't kind of like that, so I put this one, which is a wrist strap that I bought. I really love, because if you pull on it, it tightens, so you can't really lose it. I like to shoot with this, so it gives me an extra safety. Next, the ISO button versus the dial. I was used to using the top dial here to set the ISO. This can be configured to do that. Right now it's the film simulation. It changes this film simulation, which I don't find really useful. So I'll probably change this dial to the ISO. But by default, there's a ISO button at the top. If this can focus right there. So this is where you click on this and you use the top dial here to adjust your ISO, which is good because you can do it in a one hand kind of way. Next on my list, the SD card slot. You have one SD card slot in the XS10, sorry, and it's really tucked in behind the battery. If the focus can work, there, you can see it's really tucked back there, and you really have to kind of really reach to get that. And same thing if you want to put it back in, you really have to press hard in between there. So that's a little bit, at first I thought the slot was broken because I'm used to just click, and so yeah, I don't know if they're all like this, but mine you have to press very hard, well, not very, but harder than I'm used to have it click in there. So that's a little thing, nothing that will make this camera not fun to shoot with. Battery life, I thought it would be harder on battery because because of the in-body stabilization, but it does really well. I shot a full hockey event on one battery, which is amazing. So no complaints there. Format card shortcut on the X-T2, and I'll go through these maybe in more details. On the X-T2 there's a shortcut to format your SD card, and this one you can't because there's you would hold the delete and click the back dial, but there's no back dial here to click, and I checked and I didn't find another shortcut to it, so I have to do it in the menu if I want to do it, and I do that often. Poor manual, I forgot to bring a manual with me, but my X-T2 manual is this thick, and it's one language. It's in French, but it's one language and it's this thick. The XS10 manual is about maybe half an inch thick, and there's 8 or 7 languages in there. So the paper manual is almost useless if you're a beginner, because all it does is tell you what the buttons are and what the menu options are without any explanation. It just tells you, like, this is the ISO button, this is the on-off button. So really you'll have to go online if you want more detail on using your camera. I like the older manual because you could learn about photography in there by, because it would explain what is exposure and what is white balance. But in this tiny manual, all it does is this dial is white balance. That's all it says. So as a beginner, the manual is a little deceiving, but the online manual is fantastic. You can search, so it's probably the best place to go, but you just can't always bring that with you. Well, I guess everybody has a phone now, right? I'm maybe too old. Yeah, there's no D-pad or directional pad in the back. All there is this little joystick, and there's no come on, focus. So there's no pad there. There's only this joystick, and it's just a little slower if you want to go through images quick, because it's click 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 instead of click 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 click. So yeah, not much there. I just like the D-pad. Quickly, multiple exposure. I tried there. I didn't try every feature, but for some reason I tried the multiple exposure, which works really well. On my X-T2 I could only take 2 images. This one I think goes up to 12 images you can stack. And when you save the images also, it saves the stacked image, and it also saves all your individual images in RAW. So you've got your stack image in JPEG and all your individual images in RAW. So if you want to maybe try to stack them later on yourself, by yourself, then you can. Or if you want to just keep one of those pictures. Geolocation, this is nice. So this connects to Bluetooth to my phone, and it's always, it just captures the geolocation of my phone if I have my phone with me, which I don't always. Yeah, I'm old. I just don't always have my phone, but it's a nice feature. And then finally the flip screen, which to me was the thing that I suspected I wouldn't like as much. It's fun for video, and maybe taking selfie, which I don't do very much. Maybe I will if I bring it with me, but I honestly do not like this flip screen because I absolutely love to flip it and look down and take images like this, which you can do like this, sort of, but it's not the same. You don't have the same grip. And same thing if you want to shoot high and flip the screen down, same thing, you gotta bring it out, turn it. So the flip screen while shooting isn't really practical for me at all. I tried a few times to do it with the screen, but I just didn't like the feel. It was awkward. So no, I didn't like that. Yeah, so that's my biggest deception about this, is the screen while shooting. But at the same time, one of the reason I bought this is as a companion camera for my X-T2 and to help with filming also. So this will be helpful while filming. Anyway, this being said, this camera is fantastic. I love it. And I will be making more videos specifically on the differences between my X-T2 and this one. And also as I use it and find things, there are a few settings that I've changed in there that I want to share with you. So stay tuned for those videos. Hopefully this was a little bit helpful for you if you're thinking about purchasing this one, or if you have it and you want to get more comfortable with it. So yeah, thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.